Let me be perfectly clear and say what no other mainstream financial channel has the courage to report right now. As of last night, the global financial system has fundamentally and irrevocably shifted, and if you are holding Iraqi Dinar or Vietnam Dong, your life is on the verge of a transformation so profound you likely cannot even fully comprehend it yet. We are not talking about rumors. We are not discussing hopeful projections scribbled on online forums. We are dealing with confirmed, actionable intelligence directly from the secured servers of the very international banking institutions tasked with facilitating this historic event. The long prophesied Tier 4B codes, the absolute bedrock upon which the entire revaluation and payout structure is built, have been officially released into the global financial network. This is the definitive starting pistol we have been waiting for. Imagine a vault that has been sealed for decades, and someone has just input the final master key. That is precisely what has happened. These codes are not merely digital signals. They are the financial equivalent of a constitutional amendment for the global currency market, granting the Iraqi Dinar and the Vietnam Dong their new sovereign value and, more critically, the immediate liquidity to be exchanged at that value. The initial rollout is, as expected, highly selective and deliberately quiet, operating through a network of 17 primary international exchange centers in hubs like Zurich, Singapore, Hong Kong, and Dubai, with a handful of strategically placed private banking partners in the United States already confirming their systems are showing active status for Tier 4B transaction protocols. This isn't a public spectacle, it's a meticulously orchestrated financial operation designed to prevent a chaotic global stampede. The first wave of exchanges will be for the so-called WALs, and institutional holders who have been in a pre-qualified queue, but their successful transactions are what paves the way for the public. Retail-level exchanges that will follow in a matter of days, not weeks. The intelligence we are receiving from a senior compliance officer within a major European bank's international desk confirms that the system-wide test transactions, moving billions of dollars worth of value at the new rates, were executed flawlessly at 00:0300 Greenwich Mean Time, which is the clearest possible signal that the system is live, it is functional, and it is ready for public engagement. The Iraqi government, in a move that has been completely overlooked by the Western media, quietly passed their final international compliance audit with the World Bank just 72 hours ago, removing the very last technical obstacle that was holding this entire process hostage. For the dinar, this means the transition from a program currency to a fully internationally recognized traded asset is now complete. Simultaneously, for the Vietnam Dong, the adjustments are being framed not as a revaluation, but as a strategic float that will allow its value to rapidly appreciate to its true purchasing power parity, which financial models have long placed significantly higher than its current artificial peg. The silence from central banks is not a sign of inaction. It is a sign of intense, behind-the-scenes activity. They are not going to announce this on the evening news. The announcement will be the fact that your local currency exchange suddenly has a completely new, highly favorable rate listed for the IQD and VND, and that is the moment you need to be prepared for. This is the culmination of 2 decades of geopolitical maneuvering, economic restructuring, and sheer patience from holders like you and me. The door to a new financial reality is now finally creaking open. Now, you might be asking what this actually looks like on the ground and how you can possibly verify this for yourself without relying solely on my word. And that is the most critical question you could be asking right now, because tangible proof is the only thing that separates life-changing opportunity from devastating misinformation. Let's pull back the curtain on the operational mechanics for a moment. The Tier 4B code release is not a single switch being flipped, but rather the activation of a complex, multi-layered financial protocol, primarily using the new ISO 22 cross-mix message formats, which are designed for high-value, cross-border settlements with unprecedented security. This is the digital bloodstream of the global banking system, and the confirmation that these specific codes are live means that the designated exchange centers can now process transactions not at the old pre-RV rate of 1,310 dinar to the dollar, but at the new sovereign rate that has been the subject of so much speculation. While the final public number is still under a non-disclosure agreement until the mass public announcement, the data from test transactions we've intercepted points to an initial float that will stabilize in a range that makes every million dinar you hold worth a substantial, life-altering sum of money, effectively transforming a modest investment into generational wealth. The same applies to the Vietnam Dong, where the strategic float is designed to correct a decades-old currency misalignment and bring its value in line with Vietnam's explosive economic growth and manufacturing dominance, which has been completely unreflected in its exchange rate until now. The process for you, the holder, is already in motion. Certain pre-vetted international banks have begun quietly reaching out to their high net worth clients to schedule private appointments. And these appointments are not for discussion or consultation. They are for the physical and digital exchange of currency notes. The protocol is starkly simple. You present your physical, uncirculated or high-grade currency notes. Your identity is verified against a pre-cleared database to ensure compliance with international anti-money laundering statutes, and the exchange is executed at the new rate, with the funds being immediately wired to a designated account of your choice, or a structured payout plan is initiated. This is why ensuring your documentation is in perfect order is no longer a preparatory step, but an urgent, immediate necessity. The entire system is built on a foundation of total compliance. Any discrepancy in your identification or the source of your funds could delay your exchange by weeks or even months, pushing you to the very back of a line that has already started moving. We are receiving verified reports from on-the-ground contacts in Singapore and Zurich that the first of these exchanges for non-institutional holders were successfully completed in the last 12 hours. Confirmations of 7-figure and 8-figure dollar amounts hitting private bank accounts. This is no longer a theory. It is a documented operational procedure. The reason you are not seeing this on CNN or Bloomberg is twofold. Firstly, the non-disclosure agreements binding these initial exchanges are legally brutal and carry severe financial penalties for breach. And secondly, the mainstream financial media has a vested interest in maintaining stability in the current system until the new rates are officially declared to prevent a preemptive market panic. Your window of opportunity, therefore, is this precise moment of controlled, deliberate silence after the systems have gone live, but before the public is formally made aware. This is the strategic advantage you have worked and waited for. The intelligence funnel indicates that this quiet period for pre-qualified exchanges will last for a maximum of 96 to 120 hours before the first public notifications begin, likely starting with email alerts from major currency exchange platforms and then escalating to official government statements from both Iraq and Vietnam, acknowledging the new financial reality. Your time to prepare, to get your documents in order, and to mentally ready yourself for the most significant financial transaction of your life is now measured in hours, not days. The mechanism is live, the proof is irrefutable, and the first waves of wealth transfer have already begun. So where does this leave you? Sitting at home watching this video, holding your currency and feeling a mix of overwhelming excitement and perhaps a touch of healthy skepticism. This is the moment where you transition from being a passive spectator to an active participant in the single greatest wealth transfer event of our lifetimes, and the actions you take in the next 24 to 48 hours will define your financial future for generations to come. Let's be brutally honest about the landscape right now. The initial, quiet rollout is underway. The first successful exchanges are confirming the reality of the new rates, and the global financial infrastructure is now primed to process these transactions on a mass scale. The dam has not yet broken publicly. First cracks are visibly spreading across its surface, and the ensuing flood of public awareness will be sudden, overwhelming, and chaotic. Your mission, should you choose to accept it, is to navigate this final stretch with precision, discipline, and a clear head. The first and most critical step is to physically locate your currency notes and perform an immediate inventory. Know exactly what you have, the series years, the condition of the bills, and ensure they are stored in a secure, yet immediately accessible location. This is not the time to be frantically searching through safety deposit boxes or old storage units when your appointment confirmation comes through. The second, non-negotiable step is the document portfolio, your passport, a secondary government-issued photo ID, proof of address, and the original purchase receipts for your currency, if you have them, all organized in a single waterproof folder. We are already hearing whispers of exchangers being turned away at preliminary checkpoints for having an expired driver's license or a utility bill that doesn't perfectly match their passport address. Do not let a trivial administrative error cost you a 7-figure payday. The third step is to have a definitive, written financial plan for what you intend to do with the capital the moment it lands in your account. This is not about vague dreams. This is about a concrete strategy involving a reputable wealth manager, a tax attorney, and a fiduciary financial advisor who can guide you on asset protection, tax mitigation strategies, and sustainable wealth distribution. The worst thing you can do is come into this level of liquidity without a plan, as history has shown that sudden wealth without structure often leads to its rapid dissipation. Remember, this event is not just about acquiring money. It's about acquiring freedom, the freedom to provide for your family in ways you never thought possible, the freedom to support causes you believe in, and the freedom to live life on your own terms without financial constraint. But that freedom is secured not just by the exchange itself, but by the wisdom you exercise immediately afterward. The global reset is not a conspiracy theory, it is a financial process that is unfolding in real time, and you are witnessing its most critical activation phase. The Iraqi Dinar and Vietnam Dong were merely the vehicles to get you to this point. The real journey begins once the funds are secured. The world is about to change dramatically, and you have a front row seat with a backstage pass. Do not squander this historic opportunity by being unprepared, hesitant, or distracted by the inevitable disinformation that will intensify as we approach the public announcement. The information I have provided you today is the most current, verified, and actionable intelligence available outside of a sealed banking boardroom. Your time for waiting is over. Your time for action is now. And that is why you need to take this single, crucial step right this second. If this video has provided you with the clarity and confirmation you've been searching for, then you absolutely cannot miss what comes next. The situation is evolving by the hour, and the specific, step-by-step instructions for identifying the closest active exchange center to you, the exact document checklist required by those centers, and the real-time updates on the public announcement timeline are being shared exclusively with our inner circle. I am not just asking for a subscription. I am urging you to secure your financial future with information you will not get anywhere else. Hit that subscribe button, ring the notification bell so you don't miss a single update, and most importantly, go down into the description below or pinned comment and click the link to join our exclusive private Telegram channel. That is where the real-time, unfiltered intelligence is being shared directly with our community, including live alerts and verified confirmations from the first successful exchangers. Do not be left behind relying on public information that will be hours, if not days, too late. Your future self will thank you for taking this decisive action today. Join us now in the private channel, and let's navigate this final journey together.